Good morning, guys. It's a not much going on kind of day today. Well, not much probably that's going to be going on for you. There is going to be quite a bit going on for me. I have dedicated this week to meeting up with friends because I haven't caught up with so many of them in so long. So it's been phone calls and I'm trying to like see somebody every single day. And today is, what day is it today? Is it Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday today. So it's been a fairly, busy as in my calendar's been kind of full with personal stuff. And it's been nice to just be able to feel back to normal a little bit as well. I was really caught off by the jet lag. And do you know what? It wasn't until a friend of mine normalized it for me. She was like, yeah, when I came back from the US, I was completely off for like 2 months. I couldn't function. I actually felt very down and depressed because I wasn't sleeping properly. That's what getting, well, a lack of quality sleep can do to you. It can really take an effect on you mentally. And so that's actually, I don't know why, but I thought about those weeks and months after having a newborn, especially when you're a first-time parent, how that can really take a toll on you. And it's something that I think it helps for people around you to be sensitive to that, or to even lend a helping hand. I mean, this is why it takes a village, right? To raise a child. But anywho, back to my point, I am feeling a little bit back to normal. That being said, I think because that cloud of the jet lag exhaustion has been passing, I do feel like I am slowly, I don't know how to describe it, but almost kind of descending back into my body and things are settling. In that, I think that's why I wanted to vlog today, although I don't know how much of the day I'm going to catch because I'm not going to vlog a great deal. A lot of my friends are not massively into like being on camera, etc. They're quite private. Much like Alina's becoming, by the way, guys. I don't know if you've noticed, she's appearing less and less in my videos, and I don't know if it's, I don't know how to take that actually, because Lovebug loves it. Lovebug, you love coming on camera, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's, well, Lovebug was explaining to me, I'm at that point where the kids are explaining things to me about terms that they use. He was like, Mama, did you know I am Gen Z? I was like, yep. And he was like, you're a millennial. I was like, yep. Alina is Gen Alpha? Gen Alpha, I think he said. And so, look, but did you say it was Gen Alpha, honey?
Yeah, Alpha.
And so, I was like, okay. So I don't know if it's more of a, like, Gen Alpha's behaviour or attitude towards online stuff, or because she sees stuff that happens online and she's a little bit more private and reserved. And she kind of sees that, and she's kind of, you know, I admire that about her because she doesn't feel forced and she doesn't allow others to force her or compel her to feel a certain way towards something or to behave a certain way. She just, it is what it is. And I know that through the years, because the children see a lot of what's going on, I think they've grown resilience towards what can be quite a chaotic world online. But also I'm glad that she's making that decision for herself. I mean, she's 10 years old now, guys. Come on, she's 10. I mean, you guys have seen her. Some of you who've been following my vlogs quite closely have seen that change in the children. Have you seen them grow up almost, right? Because I was like, Ibrahim was a newborn when I started. He's now 12, he's almost 13. Yes, guys, yes, that is what is going on. Anyway, I need to really hurry up because my friend is coming in like 20 minutes and I need to be ready to go, and I need to drop off Lovebug. He's taking a day, well, I told him not to go to school today. He didn't feel like going because his arm was hurting. He got the COVID jab yesterday. What to wear, what to do. All right, we're gonna bang on a hat because it's freezing outside, and we're gonna go for brown eyeliner, methinks. Brown today, is that what we feel like? Those are my really good Amazon liners. Remember these? Let's do that. What was I saying? Yes, and I'm running extra late because, get this, for some reason today I am feeling very introspective and very withdrawn. And the only reason I'm still making myself go out is because I've promised, well, I've been seeing 2 friends at 2 different times today, and I don't want to cancel on them last minute. I mean, normally if I feel a certain way. I've become so much better, especially this year, at kind of honouring my body's feelings and my energy that I feel on any given day, because we just have so many shifting emotions, and I like to truly hone in on that and honour that on days where I feel a particularly strong wave inside me. And today kind of feels like that. I mean, I know it feels like that because I spent an hour, Lean's left for school, and then I had my tea and I just sat on the breakfast table. God, I've just made a mistake. I sat on the breakfast table for an hour and just pondered. I was just deep in thought. I was thinking about so many things, especially, I think what's kind of catalyzed it is that May announced her intention setting party. So every year, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys, every year May has an intention setting party at her house, and it's an opportunity for us to evaluate the year on a very personal, spiritual level, and to connect with one another. Like, she gets food and we talk to one another about our feelings and reflections on the year. We uplift one another. It's truly a very joyous, reflective, a very somber occasion, you know what I mean? Like, we say intention setting party, but it's not really a party per se until the end. That's when we crack out the karaoke, but the majority of it is just a way for us to weave together all the versions of ourselves from the past year, because we have so many sides to us, right? And we have so many different parts to us that we either develop and grow, or we neglect over time, or we cast aside, or we shame into non-existence, or we castrate, or we uplift, or we celebrate. There's so many different parts to us. I mean, I often question, like, why are things this way naturally? Like, why has God created us in that way, for us to either feel a certain emotion, for us to be drawn towards certain things, or for us to change in certain ways? And so once we do these intention setting parties, there is really a sense of feeling not only just at one with yourself, but also closer, that you just feel more spiritually enhanced and closer to God, or closer to, you know, whatever it is that your heart is seeking to grow closer to that year. Like, I can't speak for my sisters at all, but it really leaves us very refreshed. So I think because she announced it, she put the invitation in the group, it's kind of set a little cascading set of emotions inside me, forcing me to kind of have a look within myself at this year and everything that's happened this year, because it's been actually a really, really difficult year. I know that you guys have seen me traveling a lot, and I think that was amazingly, like, subhanallah, it was like what my heart desired, right? I kept saying I really want to go traveling, and somehow it just happened. And there might actually be one more trip. I know, guys, I know it's really crazy. There may be one more. I'm waiting to see if my sister-in-law's passport gets back in time, because it expired at the point of us booking the tickets. But she wants to go to Kuwait, and she had nobody to go with her. Her brother's getting married there, and it's been a really, really difficult year, past 2 years for her family, very difficult. And so her brother doesn't have anybody there from the family, because the majority of the family is in India, and they're not allowing people to come in. I think we want some sparkle on our eyelids today. Yeah, I'm gonna get, this is the Dear Dahlia sparkly eyeshadow. This is so easy to apply and work with. It's ridiculous. Like, you don't need a base, nothing. And I like that if you just put concealer, or if you just put, well, foundation more than concealer, because if you've got a heavy covering concealer you won't get this problem, but if you just put foundation on, it does of course start to crease. So one of my tricks is to just whack on some liquid eyeshadow. Anywho, so my sister-in-law didn't have anybody to go with her, and she was very upset. Her brother's very upset as well, that he's gonna be doing it alone, and it's just the first kind of big occasion since so much has happened in the family. And so I was like, do you know what, when is the wedding? What if we do like a 5-day trip there? And I feel like I'm okay to go. The kids are okay to, like, I've been fitting in loads of quality time with the family, so I don't actually, I feel like I have traveled, but I don't feel like I've missed out on a great deal. More so than the FaceTime calls. I think calls and FaceTimes are great, but there's nothing like being in someone's company and actually taking the time out. You guys, since I came back as well, you know how me and Hubsy would have like our evening little getaways in the cabin? We haven't been, well, I haven't been really doing that, partaking in that. Instead, we've been watching Christmas movies, we've been playing board games, just me and the kids. And it has been an absolute delight. And I think it's just helped all of us to feel very settled again, because this time of year I think that you can really start to feel the winter blues. It's very easy to do that. And I know that, well, for me, I was talking to a friend actually the other day, and we were talking about how this time of year just feels good because of a lot of the fun stuff that we used to do in school. Like, this was a time where, you know, you'd make, like Leans was doing her, that she got chosen to paint some snowmen or some Christmas stuff at school. And it brought back times where I felt so relaxed and joyful because of all the creative activities that we used to do at school. So I'm going to go and meet this friend now, and then we're going to get back hopefully before the school runs. And then what I'm going to do is get dinner ready, because I've not done a thing with food prep today. Get dinner ready, and then in between when the kids are at Arabic school, I don't know if I'm gonna send Lubbug today, but see how he feels. But I'm going to then go out with another friend in the evening and hopefully be back by the time the kids have finished. My friend is running a little bit late, so I decided to go and do a bit of shopping online. So I don't know how many of you guys watched that video that I posted about the Kibbe body typing system. So I went back and watched the part of that Kibbe video back, because I was just looking for some ideas for some outfits. And come on. I found loads of you guys, or I don't know if it's the same audience, but I had loads of comments there from people saying that I am not a classic. You'll have to go back, and I don't have time to explain the video, but basically, oh, she's here. Hey, Salam, Sunny. A lot of comments on there were saying that I must be a Gameen. So I'm guessing that those are people who've seen a lot of, it's like a dedicated community of people who watch a lot of these kinds of videos, or who have studied it a lot more. And you know what? I'm open to it. And so I have started to experiment with more Gameen style clothing. I never thought I was Gameen because I didn't think I was that petite, and I didn't think that I had those classic features that Gameens have. Your Audrey Hepburns, your I don't know, Natalie Portmans, your, like, those kinds of women who've got like very distinct features. I just never thought I had. I just thought I was kind of middle of the road, that kind of the classic look. And you know what? I like it. I really do like it. There's something about it. The energy of the Gameen always appealed to me. Anyway, I feel like it aligns with me really well, like with who I am as a person. I've got to show you my new fairy lights. Hang on. Coat, shoes. Oh, and I got these new shoes. How much? Bangkok on foot. Guys, how cute are these? Seriously, I love them so much. Look at them. Aren't they so cute? Love it. So I just realized I've gone in 5 different tangents and not actually tied up the loose strings. Yes, I might be going to Kuwait, depending on, this is really pending on my sister-in-law's passport coming through. If it did come through, we'd have been booked and going next week and coming back on Christmas Eve, because I don't want to miss my Christmas dinner. Or now I've had a word with me, Hubsy and Mom had to have a meeting, and we'll be like, okay, how are we going to coordinate this? Because, you know, I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys, but I had a word with my dad and I was like, Dad, do you want to still do this year? Because last year it was like the last birthday that he had with his mum, and you know, I don't know how he's going to be feeling, but he totally wants it. And I think it makes sense. I think we're sometimes arrogant enough to think that our parents or grandparents just kind of want to be left alone and they do their own thing and they're fine just getting along with things. But they need human connection, just like maybe even more than we do. You know, we all need that human relatability, to have people around you to talk to about anything. It doesn't even have to be about the thing that's weighing heavily on you. Just have that human connection, and that sense of belonging can be massively, massively healing, if not the most healing thing that can help a person go through a difficult time. I was going to message my friend this morning and be like, you know what, change of plan. Lovebug's not feeling well, he's had his vaccine, shall we just reschedule? But this is our second time rescheduling, so I was like, I really don't want to. But he's happy to go, and I think it'll be good for you to go because your cousins are... Who's at home? How come they're at home, darling?
Only Isa is.
Oh, not the older boys?
No.
Oh, God, I've completely misunderstood then. One of the babies are home. They're all babies to me, honestly. Even my kids, 12, mashallah, and 10, they're still babies to me. I was talking to some random lady, like some strangers the other day at a restaurant, and we were talking about, because they had a baby with them, and I was like, oh God, yeah. Because I was sitting, there was 3 tables and the restaurant was just ridiculously packed, and they were just having to stand there with a baby, and they were really uncomfortable. And there were some free seats around, but like everybody was ignoring them. So I was like, you know what? I'm waiting for my friends. These seats are free. Come sit here. So we started talking, and they were like, they had the baby. They're like, oh, you know, thank you so much, etc. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, I remember. I know what it's like. I can relate, kind of thing. And they were like, what? You got babies? I was like, yeah, I've got 2 babies. And they were like, oh, let's see your babies. And I pulled out a picture. They were like, oh, you don't look like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I know. They're still my babies. What can I say? They're gonna be 50 and they'll be my babies, inshallah. If I live to see the day. All right, this is the new setup. Look, my new lights came. Well, no, these aren't the new lights. A new wire came. So my nearest switch for that is under there, right? And so I needed to somehow get that USB plug into there. So I got a really long extension, USB extension, which I hid back here somewhere. Here we are. And by the way, guys, this has made a really big difference in keeping this room warm. And yeah, but my new lights, I'll show you. Oh, my new calendar came as well. What I did was I ended up getting a family calendar. So basically, look, there's columns at the top for each person. And then you get to, and then I was going to do like a color coding thing. Well, let me show you. I prepared January with everyone's names. And then we were testing out color coding for December. Different pen colors, but I'm not really keen on that. It looks a bit chaotic with too many colors. So I figure what we'll do is instead we'll do like everybody will have their own color. Anywho, that's that. Yes, these are my new lights. These need to go up. These are so good. Much prefer them to the traditional fairy lights, at least for the living room. Do you see how small the actual lights are? And because of the copper wire, or whatever wire it is, because of that wire, you get just that ability to wind it wherever you want. And I know it's not that obvious because obviously it's daytime. Actually, I need to switch them off. But at night, these just give the loveliest ambience. And so I want some along the top of there as well. If I do end up going to Kuwait, I want to be ready. And I usually get my outfit sorted out by BB London for the Indian events. So they've sent me some options through. Let's have a look. I don't know about these super short ones. I like a crop. Oh, that's quite cute. I know it looks crazy, but I've worked with these guys long enough that I know sometimes what looks a little bit big and unflattering can look quite good when worn and styled. Intéressant. Maybe. I don't wear oranges and peaches very much. Oh, that's cute. You know what? That's nice for a Mendi, actually. It's green. So Mendi event is basically, for those of you who don't know, it's like a pre-wedding. In Indian weddings, there's like 5 billion different, a couple of different events. Essentially, the idea behind them is to exchange gifts, families to get to know each other better, and to have just that exchange between the families. So I know that, for example, in Hubsy's family, they have like, they send like what's called a nashta, which nashta actually means breakfast in Urdu, as far as I know. But for them, what it means is it's like a big kind of almost feast of not dinner food, but more kind of desserts, and I don't know how to describe it. But not like meals, but food, yummy food, sent from one house to the other, from like the groom's house to the bride's house, or the bride's house to the groom's house, I can't remember. But anyway, so you have various events, and one of them is called the Mendi, which is where they apply Mendi henna to the girl's hand, and in the boy's house they do something. Sometimes it's like they have a big like Mendi fight, like everybody wax Mendi on each other. I don't know if I've shared that. I have on my Instagram stories, I think, of like mine and Hubsy's Mendi day, and like I think one of my sister's Mendi days as well. And oh my god, it's going to be hard, the next wedding, inshallah, when May gets married, because you know who the key figure in our Mendis always was my grandmother, my dad's mum. It was always her. Like, she would be, you'd think she was like the silent assassin, like you wouldn't know she's coming for you, you'd just be standing there, suddenly these two hands would grab you from behind and like put Mendi on your face. She was always the one, she was so into it, she'd be getting everybody. But anywho, so yeah, there'd be that event, and I know that they are going to do that in my sister-in-law's brother's event, but I don't know, his wedding rather, but I don't know to what extent it's going to be like a proper fight, because I don't want to be getting these clothes like all messy, but they might have some event going on. Oh, that is lovely. How pretty is that? Basically, I'm screenshotting them so I can show them later to Hubsy and get his opinion, because he's really good with this stuff. Oh, and I really, really loved this one. This is a cream coloured one. Absolutely love that one. It's got feathers up here, look. And me and feathers, we are a thing right now. That's pretty. That looked really nice worn. I like the extra long sleeves because it rushes up your arm. Again, I don't wear orangey colours very often, but just got into town, checking out the parking situation. I'm not sure if we're allowed to park here. There's a sign, but it's been all like rubbed out. Oh, I think that lady's telling her whether we can. Anywho, look at this. Anyone ever had acupuncture? This is what it claims to be able to do. Sciatic frozen shoulder, back pain, sex drive and hemorrhoid can be relieved by acupuncture in 2 weeks. Oh my god, slimming tea tablets. Do not try them. Please don't try anything that claims to slim you. What's happening?
I think it's free, so I'm just...
Mental note to come back here later. Dough for donuts. And what did you say?
Donuts and cheesecake.
Oh, and cheesecake.
And they make fresh, like, filled donuts upstairs.
Can I just quickly ask if they've got vegan options? And then I'll come back here later. I know we're not eating here, but still.
We're gonna eat here.
Oh my god, this looks amazing. This? I haven't had breakfast, darling.
Come on then.
I don't want this for... Well, I do kind of want it. I wouldn't mind, but I feel like something savoury. Oh my god, that looks like a really great menu. Yeah, I'm totally bringing the kids here. Oh my dear lord, just looking at it is hurting my teeth. I don't think they've got a vegan. Just quickly, while my friend goes and gets her wallet, she got her wallet in the car, and it's not safe to leave it. I don't know what it's like for you guys, but it's definitely not safe to leave your wallet in the car here in town. It's called Prana. Everything is vegan. Got some tea going, of course, and we've ordered some bizarre mixture of pancakes and chicken tikka curry, or some kind of a chicken curry. Chicken masala. No, chicken korma, I think, curry. But obviously it's fake chicken. I used to really love, they did a lasagna here, obviously fully vegan, and it was really nice, but they've taken it off the menu. I'm going to try that. They have these rice bowls, and they have like pizzas and burgers. So the pizza we got last time, my sisters were not very keen, but then again, you know, they're non-vegan eaters. I thought it was okay. And their rice bowls I've tried before, I've had lots of different ones, and they're hit and miss. I wouldn't say everything is amazing with the menu, but I really like, well, let's see how this chicken curry is. No, you took ages. I know, I wish I did. Sorry guys, I've completely demolished the food that came, but that was the chicken curry. It's just rice and fake chicken curry. And then there's our stack of pancakes. Thank you. Which actually does look very nice. And that's vegan cream and ice cream as well. Hello guys. Situation is this, slight change of plan. After I met my friend, I realized I wasn't done yet. I haven't seen her in so long that I passed my driving over a year ago and I haven't taken her for a drive yet, and she remembers that. She's like, you still haven't taken me in your car. I was like, oh my gosh, because we went in her car. I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna do it tonight. My brother-in-law is involved in a new store here called Cup. And I had different plans tonight, which have now been adjusted and rescheduled. So he'd invited me to the launch event before and I couldn't go. Well, now the plans have freed up. So I asked my friend whether she was free later, we can meet up again. I can take her and her daughters out. And Leans can come as well, because all the girls haven't met in ages. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna meet a bit later, and then we're going to go to this launch. But prior to that, I mentioned earlier, I've got another little date with a different friend who I'm not taking to this thing because we need more of a sit down, you know, like sometimes you just need to meet friends and just have that chat. So it needs to be more of a low-key thing, whereas the other Cup thing is more of a launch event. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity to sit down and get some like alone time. That's the plan, Stan. Hello, hello. Okay, I've dropped Alina off. I'm now going to go and pick up my friend, and we're going to go to a place called Cake Temptations. It's opened up, I think, fairly recently here on London Road, but I only found it the other day, and me and my sisters-in-law went there and I loved the service. They were fantastic, so returning customer here. Plus their desserts looked delicious and their drink was great. Like I don't think all flat whites are created equal in every shop. Like it has to be made right. Look at this, looks delicious. I don't know where to begin. Oh my god! Look at the little snowman! Is that a cupcake in the tree? Why, yes it is. That's my single shot flat white with oat milk. We're going for a banana and cinnamon something or other loaf and some mint tea. Where do I park? Leave the hut. This is the look.
You park in High Cross.
Oh, we can park in High Cross now. Yeah. At this time.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Oh yeah, they charge you. You know what? I've worn my necklace the wrong way around. Whatever. We'll fix it later. Should we go? No. Baby, we can't go, Lush. It's going to be closed. Sorry. Me and Leans are going. Ibrahim, who you can hear in the background, who is poorly. Are you though?
I am.
Sounding like you're in good spirits now, sir.
No, she is.
Now my baby's arm's hurting. How is it feeling now?
It feels better than the morning. In the morning it's hurting a lot. And last night.
Look at somebody taking my place already. Taking my place next to you, babe.
Chilling, innit?
Habzi's got a very special day. He's not coming because he's got a very special day tomorrow. Tell us what your special day is.
The design project that I started on when I first started my new job as a designer, it was my baby project. I call it my baby project because from beginning to end I've been on that project, and it's now completed finally within 6 months, and it's opening tomorrow. So
proud. I don't want to put lipstick on you.
You can.
So proud. He's done it from A to Z.
Yeah.
And they are launching that tomorrow in Manchester.
Yeah.
Which I was supposed to come to. But I got kicked out last minute, didn't I? Didn't I? No more space left for me, and I was like, I'm not taking another car. Plus I got the kids here to sort out. I just couldn't bother to sort a whole thing out with them. Right, are we ready to go? Leans, your slime needs to have the lid put on. Wow. Yes, it's all to ourselves.
Tidings.
Okay, go on then.
Tidings we bring. Go on then.
Here we are.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a
such a cute little seating place back here. So you just climb up here and sit there, waiting for your drinks. I like that.
And there's a cup holder as well.
Where? Oh yeah, there is. Cute. It's the little things that count. That's what I say.
No, but that's all that.
Shall we order then, guys?
I don't know what.
Where's the menu? Oh, that's the menu.
You want it in a bag, yeah?
Please. So I went for, what did I choose? Coconut or vanilla? I forgot
you chose
now.
a coconut,
Coconut.
milk tea with soy milk, with
Lychee and blueberry
yeah.
toppings. Leans' drink being made there. You got to make some of your own drink.
And then you just drop it in there.
That's so cute.
There is.
Oh, thank you.
There's my little.
So that's made out of sour root.
So what do you think?
It's really nice.
Do we like it? Are you making me pose with a drink that's not mine just because it looks more aesthetically pleasing? Judging by the fact that it's almost finished, I would say it's a thumbs up. I love the popping bubbles. There's something really strangely satisfying about popping them. Shall we go? Time to treat you for being so patient.
That's a bubble tea, yeah.
Yay! Just dropped my friend off waiting for them to go in. Well, guys, it's 10 p.m. We have broken all rules. Leans is still awake. Hi, Leans. We actually, I have not been in McDonald's for years, I kid you not. We went to McDonald's and I ordered, they've changed it now, you order on a screen. So we actually went and got some McDonald's because my friend's daughter was obsessing over KFC. So we saw McDonald's, I was like, I'll get Leans a fillet of fish. Okay, time to go home. It's fine, we can break rules sometimes. It's 10 p.m, way past Leans' bedtime, or at least setting into bedtime. Bye. Alright, we are home. Time to get my cleanse on. Why are you being wonky? Got these hairbands today. Thought they might be. I did get them initially to kind of wear around the house to keep my hair off my face. But I actually quite like them as just a regular, they're in these weird shapes, look. But I used to love wearing these back in the day. I don't know, well, they used to sell them like this. I bought one of these, I bought one like this from, where did we go? Asda, I think. And by we, I mean you and I, because I vlogged that day. I don't know if you guys remember. And it was okay, but it's not the hairband that I was looking for. It was a bit stiff, a bit too big. So I got this random pack with lots of different shaped ones, just because I was curious about how the different shapes would work. Oh, that's quite good. You can't see, there you go. I want to get more ear piercings. I got inspired. I should be cleansing right now, but I'm telling you about my need for more piercings. Where's my phone? I need to show you how I got the inspo. Hang on. Let me just put some stuff away. I'm gonna be back. I found this page called Body Electric Tattoo, and there's lots of piercing ideas on here, and the one I really love, I just love the idea of multiple little dot piercings, and then that, I really love it. And I feel like I have the ear space to do it, so why not? I really love, okay, so maybe not something like that, but I would definitely want to do something along here. Take my fake one off. And I want, okay, so I want a real one here. I don't know what that's called, but I want one here, definitely. I also want one up here, definitely. And then I want one or three tiny ones here, and then possibly another one here, possibly, maybe. No, maybe not. I think that's enough. I really want it, but I think I'm gonna have to do it with a piercing artist, piercing person, who will use a needle on me and not gun, because I don't think, you know, I think when you do it with a gun, I did mine at Claire's. I did one with Claire's, and it hasn't gone through straight, it's gone through at an angle. So I'm guessing that's what happens when they use a gun. So and it's really annoying when it comes to finding the back of them. And also I think in the way that it healed is a bit dodgy as well. So I'm assuming when they use a needle that it goes through more straight, just because people recommend doing it with a needle. Apparently it's better and healing time is better. And especially if you want to go through the cartilage here, it's supposed to be way better with a needle.
Oh, can I come in?
Yes, you can, baby. How are you?
Good. I was gonna say, why is it good? Oh, easy. Can we just compare something?
Yes.
This is camera quality.
Sure. There you go. I'm gonna take it.
I'm not gonna compare.
People have been telling me, I don't know what it is. These stories keep coming to me about what people have had pierced. Like I had a friend who said that their friend pierced this. May told me that her friend pierced this back here. 2 friends have told me about their belly button piercings. I used to want to get a belly button piercing, especially whilst I was working on my abs so much. So I was like, yes, definitely need a belly button piercing. Britney Spears, circa Slave For You dance. If you know, you know. I was like, yes, I definitely want it, but now not so much. I can't be bothered to go through the whole healing on the belly button and having to wear certain soft trousers and being really careful with it. Can't be bothered. I may change my mind, I don't know. And all sorts of other things that people get pierced that I've been learning about with all sorts of benefits. One of which, I can tell you this one is not X-rated. Getting is it the tragus? The tragus? I want to say tragus piercing through the cartilage here apparently helps with migraines. Although May had that done and it got severely infected and then she took it out. So whether it works, I don't know. I'm just really grateful that today was just a lovely, smooth, easygoing day with heartfelt conversations with people who I absolutely love and who are on their own authentic path to self-discovery and awakening. Women that I can really bounce off. I've noticed, I don't know if this is what happens with time and age or whether it's been these past 2 years, the pandemic years, but especially this year, I'm so grateful, although the lessons were incredibly hard to learn, to endure, I'm so grateful that I've been shown people's true colours and I've been able to decide which relationships are important to me and what I want from a relationship and whether or not what I'm being given is acceptable to me or not. Because if you have a past of people pleasing, there isn't much in the way of boundaries that you are able to set when it comes to deciding what kind of relationship is okay for you or which components in a relationship you are happy to play out or see play out and which things make you so uncomfortable that you cannot have that energy or that person in your life, and that's okay. You know, sometimes people's souls just don't sing the same song. They're in different notes. They just don't see eye to eye on the most fundamental things in life. Like I have friends that believe in loads of different things, and even like within family, like it's very diverse family as a whole. So it's not differences necessarily, but there are some key differences that I think if you hold them very dear to you and they are just so antagonistic to somebody else, or vice versa, you have to really decide whether you want that in your life or whether you choose peace. And this year I've been choosing peace. Hi. Hello. Hello. Why are you not in bed still, sir?
Well, I'm going to watch.
Been watching Sabrina? We've been watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Seriously, at like 10:30 at night. You need to sleep because you've got school tomorrow. You're okay to go to school, yeah? Your arm's okay? Feeling better? Did you have your vitamin C powder? Your immune system needs that boost. Yes, it's the retinol. It's not dry, it's flaking because of the retinol. Well, it's dry, but it's dry for a purpose. It's clearing up. This year has been very much about streamlining and about me drawing up in my mind, almost like a life map or a mind map of where my life is at, what is important to me. And I think we all have to do that at some point, especially if we're on this journey of, if anybody else is on this journey of reclaiming yourself. If you didn't feel like yourself, that you truly embodied your human body. And if this makes sense to you, it makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll go if it just doesn't. But if you've felt like that, or a sense of a tidal wave of that feeling through the years, and you are now taking steps to discover yourself, and that's, I think, for me anyway, I don't know about others, but when I think about this idea of discovering yourself, it is to know what I truly believe and feel in my body. And if you're anybody who has come out of a past that has left you, and everybody has a past that you need to heal from, right? Then one of the things that you might need to work on is re-establishing a relationship of trust within yourself, a trust in your own intuition, so that you stop looking outside of yourself for answers to the things that you already truly deeply know. It's inherent there in your soul, you know, but because you've been conditioned to mistrust yourself and to self-flagellate and to look for that negativity and that the mistake in yourself, because you see almost yourself as a mistake. That's where I guess the feeling of shame comes from, right? That shame is not, I made a mistake, I am a mistake. That's what shame is. Shame's been a really, really interesting focal point for me when I started on this sort of journey of self-discovery. And by that, what I mean is becoming truly mindful of what is in the deepest layers of me. What makes me me? What about my past? What about my emotional history? What about my inner child? What about my relationships with the people around me? Why do I choose certain things? What are my patterns? All of these things that comprise who we are as an individual. Okay, that's how our identity is largely constructed. I started to really delve deep into that about 8 years ago, I want to say. And when I first did that, it was through the realization of the fact that there is this thing called shame, and guess what? It does not mean what you thought it meant all those years ago, or the idea that was initially implanted in you all those years ago. It's not actually that, because shame is very much, I mean, I know that in religious circles it's a very sort of heavy word, and I'd only actually learned about sort of what is translated to shame from the Arabic language, which is haya, right? That's an Arabic word, but it can be such a nuanced language with multiple meanings for one word that I didn't realize there could be possibility for anything else. So what I just said about shame being this idea that I am a mistake, not I made a mistake, that I'm not worthy of belonging, I'm not deserving. That is what's called a toxic shame. And so you have this thing which is a positive shame, a healthy shame. It's like on a spectrum, it's a scale. You've got your healthy shame, and then you've got your toxic shame. And then you can have your sort of too much shame, right? And you can have too little shame. And both types come under the category of shamelessness, like having too much of it to the point where you are self-victimizing, or having too little of it to the point where you are basically violating your own self, And you can see my interest in it from not only from a neuroscientific, but a psychological perspective, was really, really brought to the forefront, like I said, about 8 years ago, and it's been years of just looking at this stuff. Amazing authors I've read, and so you can have a look at if anybody's interested. Modern day, you've got people like Brene Brown, who's very, very popular. Her TED Talk, actually, I remember first listening to her TED Talk on shame, and it just didn't resonate. I just didn't understand what she was on about. And then I came back to that TED talk. I don't know, something led me to it. It was one of those serendipitous occasions where somehow it was there. I remember it was at my last house actually. One, you know, quiet, very lonely night. Like Hubsy was out and the kids were sleeping and I was probably going through something, I don't know, postpartum maybe, or something must have happened. And so I came across it and it suddenly just clicked and I was like, oh my God, I think I am a shame-bound person. Actually, she doesn't use the term shame-bound. I can't remember what she uses. Shame-bound and the idea of having your selfhood tied to an identity of toxic shame, like your actual identities, where you operate from is a place of toxic shame, which can happen, especially if your surroundings have inculcated you with those ideas about yourself. A lot of those ideas are explored by John Bradshaw, who I absolutely adore. He actually passed away a couple of years ago, which made me really sad. I'd have loved to have gone to America and met him, because his work, I think, is truly groundbreaking and was truly like one of the most important pieces of work that led to my personal healing. I love him. He's done Healing the Shame That Binds You. He's done loads of works. I've read them all and I absolutely adore him to bits. So there's him. There's Alice Miller, who's done a lot of work on the inner child and also on shame. So the book that I'm listening to actually is an Audible book right now, because I kind of came back to that topic this year. So I was very heavily into it, then I took a break, and then last year I was kind of okay. And then this year I was just really interested in it again from a different perspective of somebody who's actually built a heck of a lot of shame resilience through all these years. And I think in the last, I would say, 2 years, particularly where it comes to religious shaming, obviously, which I faced head on when I stopped wearing my headscarf, that was like the final thing that I needed to build that shame resilience. So I came back to it almost from like a completely different kind of academic angle, I want to say, because I'm interested in that emotion. Like, I know that emotion was created in us for a reason, and the fact that it is this emotion that can lead to a person feeling isolated, like they don't belong, and that can ultimately lead to criminality. Like, they've done studies where they found that, you know, people who committed homicide and like people just in prison doing life and stuff, these were people that were holding a shameful secret, and it was a shame that ultimately caused them to, or it was linked somehow to the terrible act that they committed. And they found that across the board, which is, I just find that fascinating, right? So, what was it called actually? Where's my phone? It's really good. Hey Siri, where are you? Oh look, I was listening to this. So it's John Bradshaw's Healing the Shame. The case studies that he uses, man alive, whew, goosebumpy stuff, all right? But if you're easily triggered, and they say that you should go through, especially some of his practices and some of his exercises, they say that if you have very deep wounds and if you like suppressed a lot, if you like triggered very easily, especially if you're a victim of physical violence and you've never had therapy before, sexual violence, they actually say you should use this material together with your therapist. But anywho, so like, it's not necessarily the thing I would say, just dive right in if you've been through some real deep heavy stuff. Where is it? Here it is. This one is, so I haven't actually finished reading it, I've got an hour left, or listening to it, I've got an hour left. There we go, it's John Ronson, So You've Been Publicly Shamed. He explores a lot of social media related shaming. And so he does a big bit on, I mean, to be honest, it's a bit drawn out. If I just wanted to not forward any parts just in case I missed anything, but I could have like forwarded through a lot of it. I'm in the last like an hour and a half, but I'd say in the last 2 hours of the book is when, for me, it became, the rest of it was like quite interesting. Some of it was draggy, but quite interesting. Still worthwhile reading or listening to. But this part, he's started to talk about people who are in the prison system. That's what he's talking about now. And he's touching on how some people were more resilient towards the shame than others. And looking at, he doesn't really go too much into the psychology of it, but for me, I like to listen to it just because I like to piece together these things, like what makes us all so, like what makes some of us so neurologically able to process severe trauma and others not so much? Is it the presence of one loving person in your life, be it a family member or a teacher or just somebody who was a transient figure in your life who gave you that sense of unconditional love and acceptance and belonging? Was it that? Was it, and it has to come from a person, right? Our sense of belonging has to have been formed. Those neurons had to have been formed in relation to somebody else. Like, we're relational creatures. That's how that's how our neurons are set up in very, very early childhood. So that's why for me, and I'm going off on the topic, but I was talking to the kids the other, I was talking to Ibrahim actually, because he's really into like news stories and things like that, and we were talking about death row and like the death punishment, and I asked him, I was like, you know, do you agree with it? If so, yes. If no, why? Sorry, if yes, why? If no, why? And he was kind of talking to me about how, and I was really proud of him actually. He was like, well, you know, you'd have to do a mental health evaluation, see if everything is right there. And then, because I started to think about, you know, why people commit terrible, awful things, and what is it that happened to them that compelled them to commit such awful acts? And, you know, why is it that they were not protected as children? Because ultimately a child is helpless, right? I personally don't believe that like children are born evil, or like children are, you know, like babies are pure evil. Like, I think that kind of a personality in a person is made. So for me, I just become very interested in how come like some people go one route, take one route, and others take another route. Like, what actually happened to them? But anywho, I don't even know if I'm actually making sense right now, but I'm just, you can tell I've got like loads of different thoughts and directions that I'm going in right now. But hopefully you guys are able to pick up on something, and I can have some of you share your thoughts. All right, I am gonna watch some telly, a classic, and wrap some Christmas presents. So this year, my plan is to try and send these Christmas presents. I need to wrap all these chocolate boxes and send them early. What happens in the last week of school? Random teachers are off. They're off sick. No, I was gonna go like this. No, I believe you, okay? I'm sure it's been a long term. They're not in, and then we're left with like random extra presents at home. So I'm gonna wrap them and I'm gonna send them early this time, a good 2 to 3 weeks before school closes, so that all the teachers can have their boxes of chocolates and other presents. So I'm gonna get on to wrapping these and watching some Sabrini and then hitting the sack. So good night. Thanks for joining me today.